Good evening and welcome to Anime-Zing Radio here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me in the co-host seat, as always, is our good friend, Mr. Darren Starling.
Yellow.
We want to remind everybody that Anime-Zing Radio is brought to you tonight by Home Circle Media. For the latest and greatest in anime gear, everything from pens, pencils, stationery, and officially licensed art books, be sure to check out homecirclemedia.com today or look for them at an upcoming convention near you. We're also brought to you by Casey Fox. For all of your artwork, cosplay, and photography needs, be sure to check out Casey Fox. That's KAYCIFOXX on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Again, thank you so much to everybody who's tuning in here on Anime-Zing Radio. We have an amazing guest here, amazing group of guests, I should say, as we want to welcome Kirameku Melody to the show. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us.
Thank you for having us. We're very excited to be here.
And for our fans out there who may not have had a chance to see you up at Anime or any of your previous performance, introduce yourself and let everybody know a little bit about your group.
So we are a Boston-based dance group. We typically specialize in Love Live dances from all the different groups, but we are an idol company, so we hope to add some more groups in the future, including Vocaloid and Zombieland Saga and probably more. So my name is Nat. I'm the social media manager, and I'm one of the leaders of the group. And for our Love Live girls, I am the Nozomi, Hanamaru, Ai, and Sumire of the group.
All right. I'm Healy. I am this group's Ellie, Daya, Emma, and May.
I'll go next. Hi.
Yeah. I was like I can't, it was mirrored. I was like, over there.
I'm Robin. I am the dance captain for the group and one of the leaders and founding members. I am the group's Maki, Yoshiko, Karen, and Chiki.
Hi, I'm Birdie. I am also one of the co-leaders and founders. I am the event planner for the group, and I perform as Nico, Mari, Kanata, and Ren.
Hi, I'm Miranda. I play our Honoka, Ruby, Shizuku, and Natsumi for the group as well.
Mm-hmm. And we have 4 other members who are not able to join us tonight, but
we have everyone.
Yeah, there's a total of 9.
Now, I'm curious, what is it about the idol animes where they all bring on 9 members?
Well, they don't all bring on 9 members. He has 9+ members. I think it all started with the original Love Live with Muse. They had 9 members.
Love Live Sunshine had 9 members. Mm-hmm. Nagasaki High School, I think, had 9.
I think from that point, the other groups were trying to model themselves off of Muse.
They're like the blueprint.
And so Muse is like the blueprint. Muse was successful, so we should have 9 members because then we'll be successful like Muse. So that's kind of what it's been like.
One thing that impressed me about Love Live Superstar, which of course we have Karen here from, was the fact that the first season they focused on a group of 5, which that's what pulled me in, was this is different. And then season 2 came out and they brought on 4 more members, but I like the way they did it, where it was okay that a new school year starting, let's get the underclassmen involved. And so that added a nice twist to the storyline. It didn't seem like a photocopy of the first season 3 times with Sunshine and it was Nagasaki High School.
Nijikasaki.
I
think I'm the big Niji fan, so
I was close. I was closer than I thought it was going to be. So
yes, no, I'm like, and with Superstar especially, I was like, I called that. I called that they were going to add more members just because we started again with the girls' first years. Which is so lovely, and you get to see them grow and change. And then adding the first years who, oh my gosh, they're so near and dear to my heart. I love them so much. But then I was like, are we going to have some more members now that we're getting first years in what will be season 3? So I guess we'll just wait and see.
Yeah.
It will be interesting, and I think that's the first show that's going to have the first Love Live that's adding a third season.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I'm excited about because they kind of left season 2 off on a bit of a cliffhanger with our
it's fun.
young lady here.
Yes. Will she go to, what's it, Vienna? I was about to say, will she go to Germany? I'm like, I don't know if that's where she was going. But yeah, I'm like, I think it's great that they're experimenting and playing around with some new things. New rivals. We had 2 sets of rivals in Superstar, which is really interesting. Which I loved their season 2 rival. Her songs and the musical theater style and basis for them was right up my alley.
Now, I'm curious, what got you ladies interested in wanting to become an idol group and performing? Obviously, there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes that a lot of people, you get a little bit of an idea watching some of the animes, but you ladies put the time and effort in, so you know firsthand how grueling some of it is to get the choreography down, the dance routines, the music, and get everything timing right.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have like performing arts backgrounds in the group. Whether we, just like doing it as fun when we were in high school or, different kinds of performance. So I think it's like just performing is kind of already in our blood for a lot of us. So it just kind of made sense for me at least.
I know for me, like I've been a fan of Love Live since like, I think it was around when Muse first came out. And this was like, I was like in college in anime club and I was like, wow, I wish there was a way I could do that in real life. Too bad that's not a real life thing. And then I thought about idol groups and like now I can live out my idol dreams in real life.
I think it's just really fun to have like a group and like a thing that brings us all together. Like I've made so many friends through like Love Live and dancing and being in an idol group, like not just within Kirameku, but also, meeting other Love Live and idol fans. And like even we've had a couple of like guest performers work with us. And I just feel like, having this thing that we all share and work towards together just like brings us all so close. And I just absolutely love having friends that I can share all of this stuff with.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I did ballet for a really long time. Like I did it throughout high school, but it's something that's pretty hard to keep up with if you're not, serious about it when you're older. And I really missed dance and I've cosplayed for a really long time. So for me, it kind of felt like a pretty natural next step. And Nat got me into it and I was dragged in and I'm really glad. It's been a lot of fun. It's definitely hard. It's really something that I didn't know a ton about going in. Like my big Love Live background is actually playing the mobile game. So it's a slightly different kind of like route that I took to get here. But like I said, I've had a really great time and it's just a really satisfying experience. Like once you've nailed things.
Yeah, I did theater almost all my life and I've always loved anime, but I got into idol anime probably only, I guess maybe, 2019, 2020. So it was, I guess I'm the newbie in the group, but this was one of my first idol groups I joined. And it's just so much fun. Again, getting to live your idol dreams with costumes and dancing and creating this magical moment together with these people you love.
Awesome. And we want to welcome our other co-host, Angela Rose, who has finally gotten home from PAX Unplugged out in Philly. Welcome back, Ange.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
We have practice earlier today, so some of us are.
That's why I've got the well, it's caffeine free, but I was like the ginger ale will give me energy.
Ginger ale is delightful.
It is.
And hello to our viewers out there, Kaya Tanu and Ross in the chat room. Thank you so much for tuning in to everybody. I see we have at least 6 independent views right now. So if you are tuning in, feel free to comment in the chat if you have any questions for us or our wonderful guests tonight. We'll be sure to relay that to them and know that they're looking forward to hearing from the fans out there. Also, if you're interested in getting them to events near you, you've got to let the cons know, because I watched some of the performances that these ladies do. They have their own YouTube channel. You just search their name and you can find it. And they put on a really, really good show.
Thank you.
So, I suppose on that segue, How many conventions do you guys make appearances at each year, and what convention would you say is your favorite?
Well, we had a bit of a slow start because we actually formed around March 2020. So you can imagine how that went. So yeah, we spent about a year waiting to see what was going to happen with COVID, and so eventually we, got around to doing practices with masks on and all that jazz. So this year was our first year where we actually got to do conventions and performances, and I feel like we did a lot in our first year. We had let me see. So we did anime, we did a Porch Fest event, we went to Pop Cult, and of course we hosted Anime-Zing's first ever idol showcase, and we are very proud of that and excited to be hosting. Honestly, just kind of like whatever we can get our hands on, we will to perform. So I mean, Pop Cult was super fun having that idol showcase, and I really love the experience of hosting an idol showcase herself at Anime. So yeah, like I don't know, anywhere we can perform, we'll do it. Probably.
And that of course that has my mind going, because I know quite a few convention promoters throughout New England and New York, and it's like, who can I give your name to see if they can bring you in?
Everyone.
Yeah. Everyone. And in addition to just dance performances, we do host different panels. Like I host one on Idol 101 or Idol Dancing 101, like how to get into idol dancing. We've done a few others on like, trying to remember what the other ones were. What did we do at Anime? We did like a Love Live dance party.
Yeah, we did a dance party just to let everyone kind of like get a taste of what it's like to practice and perform the way that we kind of learn dances, and just like having fun with it was like the whole point. But yeah, the Birdie put together a panel for us to host that's about like how to get started, which we've done it a few times, and I think it's been really successful. And honestly, it's really fun to like try to help inspire new generations and encourage more and more idol groups and even solo performers or duets.
Have you looked into Anime Boston?
Yes. So we were supposed to, a bunch of us were supposed to perform at this last Anime Boston, but we had a food poisoning and a back injury. So both of our acts did not go on.
We did host, that was the first time that we actually hosted our Idol Dancing 101 panel. And that went super well. We think, I was expecting a few people, not a ton, but I think we got maybe like 40 to 50 people, which was awesome.
Yeah. And we spent like our whole time answering questions, like easily half an hour answering questions. They just kept coming. But yeah, that was just really exciting. But this next Anime Boston, you will see us there.
Oh, good.
And you will see us there as well again. We were honored to be press at Anime Boston 2022. I also had, for the first time, a podcasting panel at Anime Boston, which, not expecting much. Friday morning, 9 a.m., first panel of the con, basically, and had about 50 people in that room, which a lot of questions, some really good interaction, which I was very pleased about. I was nervous going into it, but of course, Kaya Tanu, who's in the chat, it wasn't much help, because he's like, "Are you nervous?" But it's like a half hour before the panel starts, I'm like, "Shut up, because you're not nervous, are you?" Like, enough. Now, talking about nerves, and he's laughing. In the talking about nerves and stuff, when you're getting ready to do the performances, how long does it take you to figure out a new dance routine? Is it?
I'd say it's kind of a complicated question. So maybe we could do it in about 3 or 4 months, because we can't all get together on the same day very often to have in-person practices.
It's very hard to coordinate.
But because of COVID, one of our dances took like 2 years. So it's kind of a complicated question.
We did it. We taken is.
It can also depend on like how many people are in the group. So
yeah.
like,
So if it's just like a 2 or 3 person dance, like it's much easier to
or even a solo
learn
dance
quickly.
on it at home. But yeah, I would say like full group 9-person dances would take a minimum of 3 to 4 months to get together.
And I think that's something that's important for our viewers out there to get to know. When they see you perform, it's not you just got together and started dancing. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into perfecting this so that you can perform your best on stage.
Yeah, so we all learn on our own at home and send in or post practice videos every couple weeks or so. And then we try to get together for like 3 or 4 in-person practices with one dress rehearsal before we perform live or before we film a PV. And the coordinating of the people is definitely the most challenging.
Now, does everybody have a hand in the choreography, or does it like 1 or 2 of you choreograph for everybody?
The choreography is predetermined by the medium. So like it's the same choreography that's in the live performances. It's the same choreography in the anime. So we don't actually create any of the choreography, but it's my job as dance captain to make sure it looks as close to the actual thing as possible. Making sure everyone's movements are really clean and making sure we're all doing the same thing at the same time and making sure when we are moving around into different positions, we're not bumping into each other constantly.
And it's an interesting thing to hear about that you are trying to be as close to a carbon copy of the anime as you can be, performing not just one Love Live, but you've got 4 different Love Lives that you perform from, and you said you're including other idol-based animes, including Zombieland Saga. I know before we went on air, it brought up Shine Post. There'll probably be some dances from that you may incorporate as well. The music from that's fantastic. I've been on the hype train for that show since I first watched it, and absolutely fell in love with that show. And one thing I like about it is they kind of bounce all over with the music genre, so it's not just pop, like idol pop. You have a ballad in there, and it's kind of neat to see the different personalities come out in that show. But knowing that, is that one reason why you each chose to do one character from each show? That way you can watch your girl and mimic her performance as opposed to trying to mimic everybody's?
Yeah.
It helps just when we are picking a song, you kind of know what you're getting into. So like you're picking a song and you know what part you're going to be dancing. And it just helps with like organizing rather than like, let's pick a song. Now everyone pick a character. Everyone just sticks with one character the whole time. And for the most part, everyone has like their favorite characters. So most of the time it's like, I picked Hanamaru because she's my favorite. So I get to be Hanamaru every time. And
it's definitely more enjoyable performing when you're performing as a character that you love. So that's another thing about, making sure we each have assigned characters because we want to be performing, as someone that we actually really like.
And knowing that the 3 of us hosts here on the show are in 3 different parts of the country. I'm in northern New York, Angela is in Boston, and Darren is down in North Carolina. How far would you be willing to travel for performances?
I think it kind of depends on the scale of the performance. So far, I know that some of us have gone to like Katsucon. It can be difficult to organize. Like we're Boston based, so going from Massachusetts down to the DC area, trying to get 9 people there is kind of difficult. But like, if we were to have like a spotlight or like some sort of feature there, it would probably give us more motivation to go. Whereas like Pop Cult was like almost the next town over, so that was really easy to get all of us to go. For Anime-Zing, like we of course invited everyone in the group, but there's only 3 of us who were able to make it. So it was also like, what can we do with us 3 people? So I guess in terms of like distance, like depends on who can go, who's available.
I'd say the closer it is, the more likely more of us will be able to attend. So the further away it gets, the less likely everyone's going to be able to come, because
Yeah.
everyone kind of has their own, like, I guess, priorities on what conventions they'll attend. Yeah, and I think that, like, for ones that are far away, like KatsuCon, if we aren't, like, I know me personally, if I'm not already planning on attending, it's kind of a big expense to go and perform there, because there's the hotel, there's the flights, there's, you know, all that sort of stuff.
Or if you're crazy like me, you drive down.
We're actually doing that this coming.
I didn't take it there, but I took a bus back from Katsu once, and that was one of the worst con experiences. I mean,
Yeah.
the bus was an absolute nightmare. So,
yeah, I wouldn't recommend busing anywhere. I've heard too many horror stories.
No, knowing the venue for Katsu is actually not really. I've attended MagFest multiple times, which I believe is the same venue as Katsu.
Yeah.
And no matter how you factor it in, it's not a convenient venue to get to.
No.
Yeah.
One year we drove from Boston, and that was not a fun drive.
No, it's like 8.
Yeah, is it 8 hours? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we did it in 7, but we got lucky with traffic.
Wow.
And then we ended up, and then the flight into Baltimore, and then getting an Uber from the airport to the convention center.
So luckily I grew up in that area. So like my mom and my stepdad are still there. So when I go, I can usually like incorporate a trip, like with
take
them.
an extra couple days and say, "Hey, Mom, come pick
get
me
a
up."
ride from the airport. So that helps a lot. I do love seeing them as well, just to be clear.
But yeah, no, Katsu's just Katsu is one of those conventions. It's really, really good as an anime convention, but the travel to and from is expensive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
We're planning on being there next year, and this will be the first time driving from northern New York. And to give you an idea, we are across the lake from Burlington, Vermont.
So that's like 4 hours from where I am. So
the first time I went to, or the only other time we went to Katsu, we actually left from East Bridgewater, Mass. So I'm Massachusetts born and raised as well. So that was because we wanted to avoid New York City. We took a wide loop, and it ended up being about a 12-hour drive, because we ended up in like Schenectady and Scranton, Pennsylvania for a side stop, Enola, Pennsylvania for a side stop. Some of the areas that I grew up going, because my mother's from that area. So it's like, okay, we'll make some little side stops to break up the monotony of the drive. But it's definitely a lot of driving, especially when you hate cities and try to avoid it.
Yeah, I think at least 3 of us, maybe a couple. I know Robin, Nat, and myself will be there. Possibly.
Not to perform, but just to be there in general.
So hopefully, your traveling goes good. Maybe we'll even run into each other down there. It'd be fun to see you ladies and be able to chat at Katsu. And I don't know if they still do it. The year we were there, they had KatsuCon Idol. And they put...
Yes.
At one point, we haven't signed up for it this year, but that might be something that we discussed for another year, just because, again, any sort of like trip out of state usually requires a lot of planning to get everybody there.
So are you all from Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all live in the Massachusetts area. We do have one member who's in upstate New York as well, who drives in for practices and usually stays with me. But yeah, all in the kind of Boston-ish area, greater Boston area.
And how when you're able to get together for the practices, and I know as you said many times, it's tough to organize 9 schedules to choreograph so that you can actually get together. But how long do the practices usually run? A couple hours or
3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, usually 3 hours generally. We usually do 4, possibly maybe even 5 for like dress rehearsals, but usually because we do it in full costume, a lot of times we incorporate some like selfies and photos that we'll use for like promotional stuff, but usually a minimum of 3.
And filming is usually like 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
It's a whole day.
And who do you have somebody who designs the costumes, or do you try to get them as close to the characters in the show for the performances?
So I'm not the person who does it, but we do have a costume like leader who coordinates a lot of it. I didn't mean to interrupt, but like so for the next project we're doing, we generally buy our costumes, but that's actually one where some of us are making them. And in that case, we want things just to look coordinated, but we sort of take like a bit more free reign. Because one thing about Love Live that's kind of interesting is there's so many different versions that you'll have like the same costume, like in the anime and in like one of the mobile games and then the live version, and all 3 of them will look pretty different. So a lot of it's kind of just about making decisions based on like what's available, what's doable, and like really just what we want.
Yeah, but it's like mostly based off of like pre-made costumes or like art of the costumes. Like we don't like come up with anything ourselves.
Came up with the shirts.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I will say my crazy dream is I totally think it would be fun to design our own costumes for something.
That would be cool.
That does sound fun, yeah.
I might have been thinking about that for the past.
I would be up for that. That sounds awesome.
I'm not kidding though.
Excellent.
I'm all for it. I just need a lot of help with this.
Oh yeah. No, I was like, I have a machine, but she just sits in the box. So.
As soon as I'm done with college, I'll help
design us all outfits.
Yes.
Yeah,
Also.
Like I'm not the costume person in this group. I'm just a person who's really a nerd about sewing.
Yeah, but we have like a pretty wide range of people who are like, you know, like Birdie's won like awards and stuff for like craftsmanship, all the way down to like people who haven't really touched the machine. So we have like a really good range of like people who are very experienced with sewing to like, you know, people who are definitely willing to learn and will work on their costumes how they can, or like if they require help or something like that. But we are open to people like making their own, or they can buy them from like, you know, AliExpress or secondhand or something like that.
We do have an upcoming project, and I won't say what it is, but we do have an upcoming project that everyone is going to be making their own, and like other people, you know, a helping hand and stuff. But we're very excited to have 100% handcrafted full 9 set. So coming soon-ish.
Coming soon to a con near you.
Ish. It had to get pushed a little bit because of me. Back injury, hi.
How are you feeling since fully recovered from the back injury, or still recovering?
It's kind of a work in progress. Yeah, it was like an injury that wasn't really an injury, so like we don't really know how it happens. But this is not about me.
Oh no. Well, we do have a question in the chat. I don't know if it was answered already, but the question in the chat is from John Knight, who's asking, what got you into anime in the first place?
Sailor Moon.
Pokemon.
Pokemon and Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah.
I think, Spirited Away, but honestly, Tokyo Mew Mew.
If we're going to be really specific, though, it was my friend Jackie, who's also in the group with us and who's our costume lead. She's the one that got me into Sailor Moon. She introduced me to Love Live. Like, she is single-handedly responsible for, like, all my otaku goodness.
Yeah, I was definitely Kiki's Delivery Service, rented from the Blockbuster. Like, Yeah, we used to rent it from the Blockbuster, and then I love Digimon Adventure. So those were my two.
Oh, I love Digimon too.
Yeah, it was my
I
favorite.
definitely liked Digimon and Pokemon growing up, but did not know that was anime until I was an adult.
Yeah, Sailor Moon was my first anime I watched that I knew it was an anime. Everything else from childhood. I also loved Hamtaro. I was like, Hamtaro was underrated. It was adorable.
Me too.
I think for me, it was like, I actually, in retrospect, a lot of it was like games that were also animes, like Pokemon.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts was a big one for me.
Is that I had this Hamtaro Olympics game that
I found in the world. The best game in the world.
It still had like an insane amount of hours on.
Yes. Mine was a Ham Heartbreak, which was the game before the Olympic game. And we didn't have guides back then. So like I didn't have the internet to be like, how do I get past this part? So it took like 10 years for me to finish the game because I waited and then realized I hadn't finished it and then finally did.
And for me, I'm wearing the hat of the anime that got me introduced to anime. For those of you who may not recognize it, it's Inuyasha.
Oh.
Which Underside actually has.
Oh, yeah, now
that is so cool. I like that.
I have not seen Inuyasha, but I very, very, very much love its sort of predecessor, Ranma 1/2, is one of my all-time favorites.
I've seen some of Inuyasha. I definitely need to get back into it.
How's it going? I like your Proto Merlin icon.
No, God, I've seen so much anime over the years, and it's just whatever.
Sorry, no, my friend is.
No, that's awesome. But no, I suppose
supportive friends.
Now, I too did a lot of Japanese RPGs that I didn't realize were tied to anime, like Final Fantasy. I put way too many hours into.
I think most of us can see that.
I kind of started with Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. Everything was on Kids WB back when I was growing up. I didn't have access to Toonami, Adult Swim, any of that. I never had cable.
Yeah, me neither. We didn't have cable.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was my access to it, and it wasn't until about, I think, my sophomore year of high school. No, it was my junior year of high school that I really became aware of what anime was. One of my friends had a sleepover for his birthday, and one of the shows that got me into it was playing that night. It was a Chrome Shelled Regios. No. It aired in 2011, I think. So no, it aired in 2008. It was either 2008 or 2011. Basically, post-apocalyptic world where everyone is living on basically a moving city.
That sounds cool.
And you got beasts that live outside the city, and it's basically like a desert. And if you go outside said cities, then you will likely die unless you're in an armored vehicle or you're fighting off an invasion of these beasts. And some of them have enough power to destroy an entire mobile city.
Sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull up or Doug, can you pull up the main cast real quick?
Let me see if I can
just type in Chrome Shelled Regios.
Both of them? Oh, it doesn't matter.
The standard school uniform is blue. You got another character with long silver hair. And your other main girl's got short blonde hair.
And now Ross in the chat is commenting about anime music on Spotify, which is huge.
But that was Spotify rap this year.
It was all of the live groups and Taylor Swift.
Anime music this year. I'll have to look into that. That sounds like the exact kind of thing that I would like.
I feel like I've seen these characters. They look a little familiar.
Yeah. So I share a Spotify account with a friend of mine, And we're both really into anime and Japanese music in general. And my favorite video game in general is Project Eva. I have easily 250 hours on it at this point. And essentially, I like to listen to the music on Spotify, like when I'm not playing, as like research. And that tends to really take over his Wrapped. Except one year, there was this one song that I just wanted to get on there because I'd listened to it so many times that I was like, it would be really funny. It would be really funny if the depressing Miku Christmas song was on Wrapped. And that was all I wanted.
That's all you wanted for Christmas.
It's all I wanted for Christmas. I played it on repeat. I left it on overnight with like the volume down. And Spotify does not acknowledge that it exists. Like it won't show up on like your weekly most played. It won't show up on your Wrapped. If you use the third party app, there is a notification that this is by far the most played song on his account, but Spotify does not. It does not acknowledge it.
It is hilarious because my top 5 artists were all varying forms of symphonic metal, but my top songs were all anime intros.
Yeah.
Because I made a playlist specifically for anime intros and outros, and
yeah, there's too many good ones. I'm like, we're on repeat all the time for me.
If you're a Love Live fan, there is a gigantic Love Live playlist that regularly gets updated on Spotify, and I don't know what at last check it was, but it's like well over 24 hours of just Love Live music.
I have my own playlist that's almost at 24 hours. I need to add a couple songs to exactly 24 hours.
Yeah, I know the one that you're talking about, Birdie, because they uploaded like all the Layla music as soon as it got up there. Like, it was so nice to be able to like hear the songs again after like just watching the anime once. And
like, honestly, at this point, probably over like 30 hours. Honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm gonna go look it up real quick.
Yeah, no, I have it saved. Yeah, it's when I have to drive into work. If the traffic's really bad, I'm like, all right, time for some Love Life time.
It's 33 hours and 40 minutes. 33? Wow. 33.
Wow.
Yeah. Just Love
Live. That's just Love Live music.
There's a lot of content.
Kaya, if you have Spotify, I'm sure you probably know that as well. Kaya is a friend of mine he's the one that introduced me to Shinepost. And he is the idol expert that if I have questions about the idol world, I go to him. And so I don't know if he has Spotify and has that or not, but he has all the CDs. So he says he doesn't have Spotify. I have all the CDs. And he's the one that will get them from Japan.
Oh, cool.
And we have John Knight asking, have you watched Show by Rock?
I personally have not, but it seems, it's what I'm thinking of. It seems cute.
I was waiting for you to bring that one up, Doug.
Not that I like Show by Rock, but this is one of the officially licensed art books.
I have not watched it, but I have seen some absolutely adorable cosplays of it because the designs are just so cute.
They're so cute.
And I love the fact that the characters are all like...
Oh, that does look familiar to me.
Yeah.
That's Plasmagica, the main guitar. I'm sure you've probably seen the lead guy here in the Red Crow from Shingun Crimson.
I think so.
They actually had a figure of him. Zuri Zuri, which is this one here.
Mm-hmm.
They play like traditional Japanese music. They're heavy metal, rock. So it's not all pop. It's multiple genres.
Oh, so there's like different units like within the world too. I love that.
So it's like all inclusive music, and if you're able to get the DVDs, the music is English dubbed.
Oh, interesting.
So for Show by Rock seasons 1 and 2 and the first season of Show by Rock Mashima Resh, even the songs are all dubbed in English. Show by Rock stars, they did not get permission to dub them.
I was going to say, I don't know how I feel about that.
I have very mixed feelings about it because I thought the Zombieland Saga dub of the songs was really bad.
It really rubs me the wrong way. I'm sorry.
I will say that it's hit or miss on the songs in English for Show by Rock. And I say this lovingly because Plasmagica, the English dubbing was pre-COVID.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was very fluid. The music sounded fantastic in both English and Japanese.
Mhm.
Caitlin Glass directed it and produced the music side of it as well.
Oh,
So
interesting.
she was able to bring all of them together to make the song sound really, really good. With Mashumai Resh, it was a little bit different because you had basically 3 girls who were put together to form a band to do a street performance with minimal time to practice. And then some random girl walks up with a guitar on the street. They invite her to come up and sing. So like the first song you hear them sing in English sounds a little bit off, but Megan Shipman, who directed that, did that on purpose because if you have 4 random girls who come together to do a street performance on a whim, they're not going to sound polished.
Correct. Yes.
But as the show progresses, you can hear that they get better.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I love that. Yeah.
And actually, and the picture or the background is actually the 4 girls from Mahashumai Resh.
Oh, I was like, I need to watch it. I'm like, I mean, of course, we love anything idols, but I'm like anything that also has music like that incorporated into it. Like I loved your boy Kong Ming because of that same reason. I loved the music incorporated into that show.
I've been told I need to watch that.
Watch that in such a long time.
What is it on? Because I've also been.
I think it's High Dive or
High Dive.
any service that you would stream.
It is, I believe it's, is it High Dive?
I think it's High Dive.
Yeah. High Dive has gotten a lot of.
They've got a lot of
they
good
have
shows
review
lately.
Starlight as well, which is
and they have made
mostly idols, but again, it's still theater based and music based. So
and they have Shine Post
shows. And Shine Post, yeah. So they have a
like,
variety of
High
idol
Dive has
stuff.
good content, but their like apps suck. Like it's always glitching on me whenever I think I use High Dive maybe on my PS4, but like
I have it on PS4.
I've never had it not glitch on me. Like I've never had it function perfectly once.
There is no High Dive app for PS4.
And where am I watching it? I don't know. Maybe I'm watching it on Fire TV Stick.
I think it might be on Fire Stick actually. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
I just my friend and I were trying to watch actually the original Fate anime on it.
Mm-hmm. Is that on Netflix?
No, it got taken off of like I get it. I know it's not very good according to some sources, but I'd like to watch. And it's only on High Dive at this point.
Oh.
Yeah.
We should get a shared Kirameku High Dive, maybe.
I have a High Dive account that we can just have watch parties together.
True.
And High Dive they have brought in a lot of really good titles. Like my favorite show from last season was Call of the Night.
Oh,
which I know, Angela, you watch a couple episodes. You love the music, but can't get into the story.
I didn't like the show. I tried.
I agree, Angela. I was not the biggest fan. The music was fantastic.
The music was amazing. The art was gorgeous. The show just was not for me.
No, backgrounds were beautiful. The colors were beautiful. And I was just like, I can't tell you anyone's name. They were just there.
Nope.
Ko and Nazuna were the 2 main. Nazuna was the vampire.
Yes.
But my taste in anime is so all over the place. Like the one from this current season that I'm watching that I'm surprised is really freaking good is Chainsaw Man.
Oh,
yeah.
My favorites.
I haven't watched that yet.
I am head over heels. I finished the episodes that were out, and then my sweet younger brother had volumes 1 through 8, took them all, read them all, and then read 9 through 11 and have caught up with everything. So I am fully in the Chainsaw Man hole. I love it.
I am. If you do not like body horror, do not watch it.
Do not watch. Yes.
I will give that heads up.
It's very cool. It's very gory.
Yep.
It's EVMA to the extreme. So,
but it is very well done gory.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I love it, but yeah.
And then that and Spy Family are like the 2 of the ones I'm keeping up with because Spy Family is like the cutest thing ever.
I call it my serotonin show.
before you joined, Miranda was actually talking about both of those.
Yeah, no, literally, I was like, my two for the season were Spy Family and Chainsaw Man.
And
Yep.
I know I'm in the minority here, but My Hero Academia.
I have been keeping up actually this season.
I tried so hard to get into that. It just was not for me. I think I tried on 3 separate occasions, and
I gave up in season 4.
Yeah,
I love it, but I have not seen the last couple of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But my not that it's a big flex or anything, but my kind of big flex was that I started watching it before it got really big.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of a hipster moment there, but yeah, I definitely not caught up with it, but I do still really like it.
Mm-hmm.
And Kaya in the chat they're sharing that all they've been watching this season is Bleach and Gundam.
Oh my! I've been meaning to watch Witch from Mercury.
That's me too, Haley.
I'm
scared.
That's the one that when I traveled, we fell behind on and haven't caught up yet. It was the first few episodes so good, but I haven't gone back to finish it yet.
I am just so scared about the idea of getting into Gundam. Like, I know I could go down a very dark rabbit hole.
Oh yeah.
I will say this. Gundam is one of the ones where, yes, it's a big dark rabbit hole, but you can pick and choose and not everything connects to everything else.
Which that is very nice. Yeah.
I just don't want to start making models because I know that if I do that, I might never do anything. I'll never see ever.
That'll be the last to see of Haley.
The last to see of Haley. Last seen making a Gundam model.
R.I.P. Rip. But it looks super good. Like, I really want to check it out. I've just been swamped.
The first couple episodes of Witch from Mercury are really, really good.
I've never been into the mecha side of things. The closest I've gotten to mecha was Darling in the Franxx, which I don't know if you consider that mecha, but they do have the machinery in there.
I love Darling in the Franxx. I'm a big mech fan. I love mech anime.
Infinite Stratos, I kind of consider mecha.
I didn't watch Darling in the Franxx. Kaya saying if you like music, Macross is a good one to watch as well.
Isn't it Macross Delta that's the idol one?
I don't know. I've seen a couple episodes of Macross Frontier.
It is, yeah. I was like, I like the character designs a lot in that show.
Yeah, I know. I've been wanting to watch that because one of our other members had mentioned it and showed some of the designs, and I was like, okay, these are really cool.
Yeah, no, maybe I'll give it a go. I'm definitely
No, I'll do some mech stuff. Gundam, I've seen a couple sets. Another old mecha one is Razafon. But that's really old, but it was really good.
Well, I think the last mecha I watched was Gridman.
Don't know that.
SSSSS Gridman.
Yes.
Oh wait, okay. I didn't recognize Gridman, but with all the S's, I was like, oh yeah, that does ring a bell actually.
And then Ross is jumping in. His favorite mecha is Regalia of the Three Sacred Stars and Nobunaga the Fool.
I haven't heard of those.
Another good idol anime, which kind of threw me off. And it's another High Dive title. I wasn't expecting to see this because I'm a big fan of the Strike Witches, the World Witches franchise. They came out last season or the season before with Luminous Witches, which basically it's what do you do with the girls who can't fly, can't fight, but they're witches. You make a band out of them and they go around putting on performances.
I love that premise.
I think I would like that.
Yeah, that sounds right on my alley.
And I'm not gonna lie, it actually was a really good story. And as a huge fan of the series, and I've seen Strike Witches, seasons 1 and 2. I've seen the movie. I've seen Brave Witches. I've seen season 3 and 4 of Strike Witches and the really bad knockoff of Strike Witches. When Luminous Witches came out, they were able to tie it in with the original Strike Witches, so I knew exactly where in this timeline of that story this took place. So it was really nice tie into the main storyline, but I had no idea that any of that was going on behind the scenes. So it's kind of neat how they really have immersed this world of, and Strike Witches is one that not many people got into, and it's a little bit of an older series.
I do have a question. Love Live tends to be the typical idol show that everyone goes to, but have any of y'all watched the other idol title that came out around the same time, The Idol Master?
I am too
I've
scared
heard of
to
it.
get into Idol
I
Master.
tried to watch a couple episodes, and I think I just got overwhelmed. Just figuring out where to start with Idol Master overwhelmed me. And then when I
There's
did
so much
figure out where to
content.
start, what's great about Love Live, even though it's like literally their formula and it happens all the time, is that they introduce you to the characters slowly. Whereas like with Idolmaster, I kind of felt like I had a bunch of characters all at once and I kept getting confused on who was who and stuff like that.
Is that the one that has like 100+ idol characters or something?
I think so.
Or is
Well, because there's different
There's also
subsections too.
really
There's
much-
just the idol, yeah. There's just the
I
Idol
don't-
Master, and then there's like Cinderella Girls, and then there's a couple more like subsections.
Yeah, I don't know
So
if
I would like to, but
Yeah, Million Live as well. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. My other thing is like I'm so like deep in the Love Live fandom rabbit hole that I'm like my wallet cannot afford love with more because there's so much idol merch and like it's just like I can't afford to love more characters and buy more merch. Like
Yes, I was like I got into the boy idols recently. I love Idolish 7. I love Ensemble Stars. So that was my other rabbit hole. I was like, I love the choreography, and I'm like, the thing with Ensemble Stars too is though that there is also like 50 characters. So when you first start,
Yeah, I've been wanting to get into Ensemble Stars, and now I'm like even more weary.
no, it's lovely. It's lovely and chaotic, and I enjoy it.
I watched
But it
a
is.
couple episodes of Idolish 7 and I really liked it. So I
Yeah.
should go back and finish
I
it.
couldn't even
7
get
is-
into Idol.
There's 7 of them, so that one's
Yeah,
easier.
exactly. There's 7 and that's it.
And that's it.
I know one idol series that a lot of us really like that I think is really underrated is Selection Project.
Yeah. Sorry, I love Selection
Yeah.
Project.
I feel like you don't hear about it a lot, and
No.
I really think it's like a little hidden gem.
It is.
I know I have to keep watching. I only saw like the
Yes.
Started.
Yes,
It's
I've been
lovely.
telling everyone in our group to watch it since it came
know.
out because it
I
also
think that
has
one-
9 people.
Yeah, 9 people. Yeah, anything with 9 people is good. Like
9's the magic number.
I personally liked Liella with 5 members, but honestly, when they announced that they were going to become a 9-person group,
Yeah.
I was like, that works
If-
better.
And
Kira-
if that hadn't been, like if Shiki and May didn't exist, like I would not have been okay with the new members, but I love them so much that's fine. And Leela. Yeah.
I know.
I'm
I
so
was
sorry, everyone. I have to run to the bathroom. I will be back.
No worries. I know Kinako quickly became my best girl in Layla. I think she's absolutely adorable. I love the first years. I think they had such a fun vibe to the group. So
I kind of laugh with Love Live. It seems like every season, and it started with the original where you had Nico, which is a character you either really love or really hate. And every season, it seemed like they had to make one of those girls have that characteristic.
Mhm.
In Love Live Sunshine, it went to Yohane,
Mhm.
yeah.
where you either love Yohane or you can't stand her and find her annoying. With Love Live,
0 in between.
with Love Live Superstar, and I'm drawing a blank on her name. It's the girl who's always got the phone. I can make money off of this.
Oh, yes.
She,
It's not to me. That's me.
Not-
I
I
knew that was gonna be
kind of
her.
give that title to her.
Yes, definitely. She starts off almost as a bit character. Like she is really not in the show until probably halfway through season 2. And she has this wonderful, lovely episode. And then they have the song with some of the worst costumes I've ever seen in my entire life. But the live versions are better, which seems to be Layla's curse. But yeah, no, I think she's fun. I was like, I call her a gremlin. I think she's adorably cute and silly. And at first was worried that her whole character was going to just be like, I want to make money. But she eventually got past that a little bit.
Yeah,
No.
I don't think there's been any character in any of the Love Live series for me that made such a big jump from very low to like she's my number 3 best. She just had an absolutely wonderful episode that I just thought really fleshed out her character so much.
Mhm. Yeah, I was like, I really, yeah, I'm like, I don't think there's, I know some people like really hate characters, and then I feel like I'm neutral. I feel like that I don't hate any character. If I have characters I like more than other characters, but yeah, I guess neutral's the word for it.
So I hate I hate it. I'll say it.
He's the worst.
And Doug, can you take a guess as to where I was going to go next with that?
Oh, if we hated a character.
Well, how about going from one of your least liked characters to one of your favorite?
Oh, like they started at the bottom.
It's definitely not Sumi for me. So.
This is actually something where I think being in the group is really interesting, which is like, I'm Daya. I didn't have anything against Daya, but I felt fairly neutral about her. But since I've been this group's Daya, she's like really shot up on my list. Like Ellie was my second best girl, but now she's absolutely like my best girl. So I really think that like dancing as a character, kind of like putting a lot of investment into someone is definitely like makes you like that character a lot more.
Yeah. My first experience dancing in a Love Live group, I was a fill-in for another group. And the only spot that they had open was Ellie. And at the time, this was for me. And at the time I hated Ellie. But I had some other friends who were doing it. So I like kind of begrudgingly did it, and I just wanted to try out dancing. And then after doing that, I love Ellie. She's my second best news girl. Like she really shot up from the bottom. I used to hate Daya. I love her now.
Those are my two best girls, by the way.
Like some of my best girls too, so it's okay. But yeah, I think there's something about like, for me at least, like sometimes even if I really don't like a character, like just cosplaying them and like getting to appreciate them in that way, like just automatically makes me like them more.
Yeah.
So.
Now, that's a very interesting perspective. As a cosplayer, it was very rare that I cosplayed a character that I didn't at least in some way identify with as a character.
Yeah.
Because I felt like if I didn't at least like or identify with aspects of the character, I couldn't do the cosplay present well.
Yeah. Typically, I'm the same way, but just in that case of Ellie, like it was just like a one-time thing where like just some group needed a fill-in for like one performance. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not, kind of thing. And yeah, I'm really glad I did it because I ended up loving Ellie. And yeah, that was the first time I performed, and after I performed that one time, I was like hooked. So
yeah,
I thought I did it, even though I didn't like Ellie.
I also feel like liking Ellie is pretty important as a Nozomi fan.
Oh yeah. I always felt awful that I hated her girlfriend so much, but now it's okay.
On the other side of that, Ellie is my best girl, and I really don't like Nozomi.
See, that's
I don't either.
upsetting.
I love Ellie.
It's okay. We're gonna.
I like them together.
I do like their like dynamic, and I like them together, but I do not like how Nozomi is constantly touching people inappropriately.
Yep. I was like, that was the one downfall of the Muse anime, because in the game and everything like that, that's not a part of her character either. And they just were like, let's put this in the anime. And everyone was like, why are we doing that? So
yeah.
Gotta love it.
That's the anime world, you know. They have to try to put things in to entice people who like all different types of things to at least try to get the hook.
I think it would not surprise me if some of that is literally the cultural differences between East and West.
I think it really is, yeah.
Because it always surprises me how some shows are very, very popular in Japan, or games for that matter, and then just fall flat once they hit the West, and vice versa. The things that Japan doesn't expect to do well outside of Japan ends up basically taking off and becoming this huge, ridiculous fan thing in the States.
Love Ruby. I actually have my Ruby wig over here.
I do think that Ruby maybe has one of the best solo songs.
Yeah,
That's literally the best thing in all of Love Live, in my opinion.
She broke the internet. So proud of her.
Very things. like
Ruby was a cute character. I will say that much.
Yeah.
I don't really like Ruby very much as a character, but Cotton Candy AAO is quality material.
I think Ruby was probably my character who started as a neutral and ended up as a love. Going back to that question, because I was like, when I first saw her, because I saw the pigtails, I was like, oh, is she going to be like Nico-like? And then she wasn't at all. And I was like, what? So that was confusing. But I eventually I love her. I love her so much. I think she's adorable. I think she is so passionate. I love Ruby. There she is. Nico's back, switching her in.
Oh, God.
Yep.
And then
these are the only 2 Love Live figures I have within an arm's reach. I do have I think I have like 4 more sitting in the other room.
Oh, what character?
I think I could
Hanamaru, Kotori, and the Karen's friend there, the one with the white hair.
Chisato. Chisato?
Chisato, yes. I have one of her figures as well.
And we lost Darren.
We did.
Oh, he's coming back.
Oh, he turned his camera on.
Oh,
by accident. Thank you. Because whenever it reloads, you don't keep the same settings.
Yeah.
Well, at least for me.
I will also say, I was lucky enough, and I got to go to Japan in 2018.
Oh wow!
And because we spent 2 weeks in Greater Tokyo, and in all of like the anime merch shops, Love Live, it seemed like it was peak Love Live.
Yeah. I went in 2019, in spring of 2019, and we stayed in Akihabara for like a week and a half. Oh my God, it was like the happiest place on earth. It was amazing. I literally felt like I was walking around a convention for a week and a half, and I was getting Love Live figures for like $3 or $4, like standard size figures. And then I come back to the US and I'm seeing the same figures for like $30.
Yeah.
But it is also entirely possible that those $3 or $4 figures you got secondhand. But you'd never know that because Japan is Japan's secondhand shops. The quality is basically just like what we would consider brand new, minus like the tags.
Yeah.
But we spent a couple days wandering around Akihabara. We did like just so much.
Now, speaking of Akihabara, there's an older anime out there. It's an idol-based anime called AKB 0048. Have you watched that one?
I have heard of that one.
Definitely familiar with
it. Watch. Because they were based on, that's the one that it was based on the real group, but there's the group is humongous, right?
Yeah.
It's based off of AKB 48. They use their songs in it.
Oh, it's like a jukebox musical.
Yeah.
I did watch, I think that's another High Dive show.
Kaya actually is saying that's where they started with idols, and Ross is saying how much he loves the songs.
And might have something I have to check out then. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
We're building up quite a
session. Yeah, I'm building up quite a watch.
I know, I really hope someone's taking notes.
I know, yeah. I know that it's like, you kind of fall into the Love Live hole, and then it's like I stayed there for quite a while before branching out into other idol things or games. Just because it's like there's such a love for the characters, I feel like in Love Live, there's like a dedication to them almost. So you like don't want to leave them behind in a way.
Yeah, I definitely struggle branching out. Love Live is one of those that like, do I start a new anime or do I rewatch Love Live?
Yeah,
definitely.
And it's another idol anime is Symphogear.
Oh
I think I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Oh.
That was
I'm gonna have to take notes.
I will say my problem is I'm honestly more of a manga reader, which for the most part isn't a huge problem, but it's really not something that I can just do with idol shows.
Yeah.
Right.
Love Live manga, it's not.
It doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
It's also kind of the whole point is the music, so I sort of have to be dragged into things, but I tend to have a lot of fun. It's just so hard to watch so many things.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I'll pick and choose with what I watch, and manga.
You can just speed through things.
My problem with manga is I have a lot of trouble reading on a screen.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Reading honestly puts me to sleep, whether it's just like regular reading or manga. Like,
thank you. I'm not the only one.
Oh no, I've been a book nerd since I was a child.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. Yeah, I am so behind on my goals this year.
Yeah, Miranda and I follow each other on Goodreads.
Yes, it's the best. I advertise my Goodreads account always. I'm just like, what did you read? Would you like to have some fun?
Goodreads, I go back at like Goodreads. I'm there, but I'm only active intermittently, and then I'll basically go and update. Oh, I read a bunch of stuff, and then
and then add them all in.
And then I don't read anything because I get too busy with work, video games, social, whatever, travel. And then I go, don't read anything for like 6 months. And then I go, oh crap, I want to read this.
I'm very much the same.
Yeah, my current TBR list is 394 books. Oopsie doopsie. So one day
at this point, my TBR list, the priorities are the books I bought in London and the compendium of Death Note that my husband bought for me because he wanted.
I have read Death Note.
Is that within reaching distance?
Not a manga, but one book I actually did read is this one here called One of Few.
Oh.
If you like sci-fi, this was actually a really good read.
I love sci-fi.
Author is Terry Doty. If the name sounds familiar, yes, it is the voice actress.
Oh.
She actually reached out to me about reading it. If you know like the anime Fairy Tale, she was the maid, the pink hair with Lucy.
Oh.
So
that's what I never finished. I never finished Fairy Tale, but I really liked it when I was watching it.
If anyone who I know is still watching this, I know you're gonna groan that I'm bringing this up, but like I will say I'm a huge visual novel fan.
They have
which ones?
I mean, my absolute all-time fave is Umineko. I think that I know it's a time sink. Everyone should read Umineko. I legally have to plug it if I have the ability to.
Is that the one from the same people as Higurashi?
Yeah, that's 7th expansion.
All right, I need to do it. Yes.
Yeah, also a big Higurashi fan, but I would recommend it first, but you can just go into Umineko.
Okay. I've seen Higurashi. I just haven't read it.
The visual novel, light novel genre is one that I just never got into.
I was about to ask who all reads light novels, or am I the only one?
I have never read a light novel, but it is like amazing to me that light novels are now like in the United States.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I go into a Barnes and Noble and I have an amazing manga section as well as light novels, like just at my fingertips. It's absolutely
actually that was something. Did I send you guys that picture, Doug? The entire, like when I was in London, we found an anime shop.
And I don't remember if you did or not.
And I took a picture of the display because there was an entire light novel section.
Wow. Yeah.
Sweet.
And that was kind of I love to travel. My husband and I have figured out that if we budget properly, we can leave the country every 3 years.
Yeah.
COVID notwithstanding. Subsequently, our trip to London and Paris got postponed multiple times because of COVID. But one of the things, it was very interesting to see the differences in what's popular in Europe versus what's popular here versus what's popular in Japan. And while certain things are like just generically popular, like there was like, regardless of where we were, My Hero Academia was popular, and I feel like that's always going to be popular. That's just whatever. But like to see a actual designer shop in London have a collab with Hunter x Hunter.
Oh wow.
And like to have that like be the display in a clothing store, not an anime store, was like something you'd almost never see here.
I did see
I would
that
be
picture.
starstruck. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I sent you.
Yeah.
And that was like a big thing. And like we were looking at covers in Paris, we were looking at the covers of the different manga and then realizing we couldn't actually read them because they were in French. And
Yeah.
while I could piece together enough to understand basic things, we were just kind of chuckling at it because, oh look, it's this manga in French.
That's so cool. I know. I was like, when I was in New York, has a wonderful bookstore, the Kinokuniya. I think that's how you pronounce it. But
God, I'm obsessed with that place.
It's the best there. But when I was there, I was able to get one of the Love Live Superstar like manga little magazines. And so I was like, I can't read it, it's in Japanese. But Google Translate pictures come in very handy. You kind of cover your phone over it. And sometimes it's really bad and you don't be correct. But other times I'm like, okay, I can get the gist of this. I can get the plot of it. So I'm glad I did end up buying it because it's really cool to have in my collection.
So you mentioned New York City. I'll ask this. Have any of you been to or plan to go to Anime New York City or New York Comic Con?
So I have been to Anime NYC every year. Last year will be my last year. I am not going to that convention ever again.
It was not great last year.
Last year was awful. So yeah, I'd been to every single one, and I'm not going again.
I loved it past years, but like
last year is in 2021, not the one that happened a couple weeks ago.
That was going to be my question. By last year, did you mean 2021 or 2022?
I did. I forgot we were in December. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what month.
That's why that is why I wanted to clarify.
Yeah, we were in that line that was stuck in the freezing cold for like 3.5 hours, and we never got into the convention
because there was a stampede on the doors. We did not feel safe, so we left.
Yeah, it was very scary.
that is having worked and been involved with conventions for so long, I am appalled that they let that happen.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you guys made the best decision for your safety.
Yeah. It was very frustrating because the next day they came out with a much better like line control plan. And it was like, why didn't you do this the first day? Like it was such a simple plan, but like it made everything so much more efficient. And it was like, there's so much like
I would not be surprised if it was as simple as the staff was too new and too overwhelmed and had no idea how to handle it.
First year back since COVID, so I'm sure that played a part in it.
That probably also played a part in it.
Yeah. I mean, I heard that this past one had a lot of problems too.
Yeah.
Just from what I've heard.
I've heard from what I've heard. I have not been, but this year I only did a couple of conventions due to travel. My Facebook feed take on Anime NYC was a mixed bag.
Same here.
People either really enjoyed it and had a good time and managed to avoid the problems, or it was nothing but
or you were in the heart of the problems.
Or it was nothing but I'm never going back to this con. This shouldn't have happened. This shouldn't have happened. Complain.
Yeah.
But as I wasn't there, I can't judge. This is all from my perspective hearsay. And if you're that unhappy, if your experience was that bad, don't go back. Plain and simple.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely really hard for me because I'd been to every single year, like from the first year. And I'm like one of those completionist type people that like, if I've already started like going to every single one, it was so hard to not go to one. But when I made the decision not to go this year,
my husband is actually the same with Anime Boston. He has been to every single Anime Boston.
Wow. That's incredible.
Some of us did get to go to Anime NYC in 2019. They actually had one of the Love Live subunits performing there. They had Guilty Kiss, which was like
that was the experience of a lifetime.
Oh my god, that was that. It was like the actual voice actresses were the
So
anime
cool. Mhm.
performing live, and it was so incredible. And like, I don't necessarily want to go back to Anime NYC, but like if they brought someone back like that, I would have to go.
If the performers were right, yes.
Agreed.
Yeah, I would have to go. I would just,
Yeah, I would.
Bring someone back.
On
Yeah,
that
and then-
same
Mhm.
on that same vein, have any of you been to Kineticon? Is
Yes.
there even an idol presence at Kineticon?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
Yes, a group I'm in, we performed in the Idol Showcase this summer. It was incredibly fun. We ended up getting Best in Show. It was an incredible experience. So it definitely was, I guess, not a smaller convention. It was definitely decent sized.
Kineticon's a larger event.
Yeah, and the Idol Showcase, it was packed. There's two subsections in the showcase too. There's idol dance and then there's K-pop dance, which was really awesome to get to see a bunch of different dancers and a bunch of different styles. So I had a really good time. Yeah.
A few of us had performed before our current group formed. We performed at the Kineticon. Was it called Pop Off?
Pop Off, yes, correct.
Yeah. Back in, I think that was 2019.
Yeah.
That was the first time that they had it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know it's newish. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was really fun. So great opportunity to perform. So
yeah. I will say, I'm looking at the comments and the people who have joined us in the chat room. There's one person who's not here that I thought she would be. Julili is an idol and has performed with many different groups. Like I met her through Rainbow Bubble many years ago at Bakuretsucon in Colchester, Vermont. She's been out on her own. The only year we went to Katsucon, she won Katsucon Idol.
Oh, okay.
And she usually tunes in, and I'm surprised that she's not here, knowing that we have an idol group on. Although she may, we still have about an hour left of the show, 45 minutes, so she may still pop in. And I know she's down in New York City.
I was actually thinking that when I logged in, Doug, because that I'm sure she'd have some commentary to share as well.
And I will say, I know I said that I was done with conventions after Anime-Zing, forgetting that Northeast Comic-Con was Thanksgiving weekend. And since I was in Foxborough, Mass, visiting my sister for Thanksgiving, and Boxborough's on the way home, we did have to stop in and say hi to Gary Summers and everybody at Northeast Comic-Con on Sunday. Did see some friends that we hadn't seen in years. It was great to reconnect with Bill Diamond. If you don't know who Bill Diamond is, I'm sure you know his work. He's a puppeteer. If you've seen the movie Gremlins, he created Gizmo.
Oh, wow.
He's created Muppets. He's created Fraggles from Fraggle Rock. He created Audrey the Man-Eating Plant.
Oh my god, sorry.
Nope.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
I really like
Haley loves puppets.
I love puppets. I'm a fashion student, but I'm really into theater, and although I want to do costume design for the most part, I love puppets. Like I've mainly made marionettes, but I love puppets.
Nope. My last convention for the year just ended literally. I was an enforcer at PAX Unplugged, and one of the things, while it's definitely a board game, card game, tabletop game convention, the overlap with all of the nerd pop culture is becoming more and more apparent. There is a board game studio called Japanime Games. And it's literally, they had on display, one of the display games was a board game from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
And I'm seeing more and more of that kind of content in the board game spaces or the tabletop role-playing spaces. There's tabletop role-playing systems that are designed around anime.
It's not like you haven't
Not like I haven't
character.
done that, and I'm not even promoting my own stupidity. But it's no, there's entire systems that I'm just learning about that are
And I'm mad they
basically
wouldn't
based
let
on.
you bring syrup in when you did your little character.
So
yes, I did finally get this in.
yes, I saw. Bo Fury is a really, really, really fun MMO based anime, and the main character is Maple, and Maple basically does not know what she's doing in an MMO, and subsequently puts literally all of her stat points into defense so she doesn't die, and subsequently can't do anything else at all, and inadvertently breaks the game because.
To the point the developers are actually trying to nerf her.
And one of the special items she and her friend get are these little pets.
Oh.
And Maple gets a turtle named Syrup that
Maple
she flies
syrup.
around on. Yep.
So
That she flies around on. And it's the cutest thing ever.
That's awesome. I'm like, now I need to add this to it, mostly just because there's a turtle. And anything with cute animals, I'm like, I'll watch it.
It's right now a 12-episode standalone. Season 2 is releasing in January.
Oh,
but
awesome.
it's so cute. It's so fun, and it's like, and there's like it's a fun, as my husband puts it, no stakes show.
Yes.
Ross thought Syrup was a Pokemon.
Oh.
Nope. This is not a Pokemon, and anybody who knows me knows that I have loved turtles my entire life. I have a collection of like ceramic and turtle things that I've collected throughout the years. Turtles are my second favorite animal behind cats.
Oh,
Nope.
I love.
And the funny thing is, I too have a turtle on my bookcase upstairs because, I have a friend who's in the military, and he got me when he was on deployment at one point. He brought me back from Turkey a jade turtle, like carved of actual jade, and it sits on my bookcase.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
But yeah, Syrup, I do agree, Kaya, Syrup is best turtle. In my opinion, Syrup is probably the best animal sidekick in anime. That's just my biased opinion. But not only is it Maple's companion, but she teaches it tricks to where it can grow enormous and fly. So where she doesn't, she has like no stamina. She can't run fast. So she just hops on Syrup and flies over everybody's head on this giant turtle.
It's still not fast.
But it's faster than her walking.
Yep. Oh, God.
But it's a great show. It's a lot of fun. And I am really, like, 2023, I know there's a lot of sequels coming out, but man, I'm pumped for so many of them.
That's the one. See, that's like the big one I'm excited for next season, but.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of new stuff coming out next season too. I was looking in just like licensing announcements recently, and I was like, oh my God, there's like so much that I've never heard of. So then I'm Googling all of these, being like, oh, will I like this? Will I not like this? But there seems to be a lot of good slice of life and just kind of.
I am like so okay.
True.
Well, I'll give you that.
Actually, Franklin, I think, is best turtle. So.
But for anime in general, for media in general, I'm fairly selective. But I think that might come from having a degree in English literature.
And then there's Darren and I, who are isekai trash.
You can never go wrong with a good bad isekai.
The surprise of this season, and I will say this wholeheartedly, I had no expectations going in. I probably had less expectations for an isekai on this show than I have for any previous show. And it's Reincarnated as a Sword. I expected it to be absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the main character, like the storyline, doesn't really portray so much on the person who's reincarnated as a sword as it is the person who wields a sword. A young black cat girl who's a slave finds a sword.
And you already explained why you love it.
Well, you have a
weakness for cat girls, and we all know this.
How can you say that? Nekopara.
Oh, she's cute.
You're forgetting dragons.
And dragons.
Yes,
hence Beast Tamer. You got cat girl and then dragon girl.
Yep. But but no, I'm the one that my taste is so all over the place. I like more of the weird stuff.
Mhm.
Like I'm coming to learn that a fair amount of what I like falls under horror, which surprises me.
Interesting.
What are some of your faves?
Some of my favorites.
Are you
One
cheeky?
of my classic favorites is Cowboy Bebop.
Mhm.
You
I
kind
love
of can't
mine.
go, yeah, kind of can't go wrong with Bebop.
Have you
Um,
seen Cheeky?
Shiki?
Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
Okay.
That's a classic horror.
I think if you like horror and you like weird stuff, I would definitely check out
Like
Cheeky.
for weird stuff, Wonder Egg Priority was so good.
I have not seen it yet. I wanted to. There was actually a lot of Love Live voice actresses in Wonder Egg. So
Wonder Egg was fantastic. Psychopaths was really good. Erased.
oh,
I love Erased.
Oh my god, I cry every time.
And then there was another one that I knew. And then another really old one that I recently learned was classified as horror was Serial Experiments.
Oh my
Lane.
god, I love Lane.
Lane was so good.
I haven't seen it for like a few years, but Lane is. I mean, it's a classic for a reason.
Probably the weirdest one I've seen recently was Doro Hetero.
Oh my, sorry. I recently had COVID, and I binged the entire manga in like a day, and it made me want gyoza so bad that I ordered it for takeout about 5 days in a row.
Gyoza is delicious.
Mhm.
I made a little rating system, so now I kind of know the best gyoza place.
That's a good idea.
And now we've got people talking in the chat. Kaya's favorite genres are slice of life and idle, or as they put it, slice of life and idle trash here.
Mhm.
Slice of
We're
life.
all idle trash.
And
Slice
then
of life romance here.
and then Ross is talking about next season. They're excited for Grace to God, The Angel Next to Me, Spoil Me Rotten, and Our
Yes.
Last Crusade.
It's gonna be good. I was like, I think there's a romance next season that I'm excited for, and now I can't remember. I saw that there's an Iceman.
I got the list up.
There's an Iceman, and I was like, it's an office romance, and I was like, this seems cute. So.
An older show that I really enjoyed, which surprised people, was Noir.
Noir.
I never watched it though.
I've heard of it.
I think that's one of the ones I said. That's it.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones I said that I was going to go back and watch based on the series description, and but I keep saying this, and then I never remember, and then I find new things, and then my watch list gets way too long, and we never finish it.
I've tried to use my anime list before too to like keep track of everything and look through everything. I just wish I was like, I just love Goodreads too much, so I'm like, I wish it was set up like Goodreads, and I could.
I will say
Goodreads for TV shows, like perfect.
Yeah, likewise, right?
While I am using my anime list, I will 100% agree that the way the app is set up is trash.
I am. I get if it's not. I was like, user friendly is like so important. I'm like, if I can't click 3 buttons and everything is good, then I'm like, it'll fly over my head. So
I could not.
Yeah, I was like, it's bad.
On that note, there's a third-party app that was developed to coincide with my anime list before my anime list put out their official app. It's called Pocket Mouth. I have it on the Android store, and it is very simple to use.
Ooh, right, that could be a good
My other
option.
issue was trying to remember like all the anime I've ever watched and adding it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I started early. When I had only seen about 50 shows, it took me like 2 hours to add everything because my anime list also breaks down the subset OVAs, specials, and everything else. So you really think you've only watched like 30, 40 shows, but by the time you're done entering it to my anime list, it's like 75, 80, 100 entries that you've made.
Because Attack on Titan is one of those shows where it's literally Attack on Titan season 1, Attack on Titan season 2, and they're all
the final season part 64.
Final season, part 85.
Don't even get me started on that. I'm very, very, very annoyed with that. Like, if you're gonna call it the final season,
yeah, no, me too.
Then it should have ended, but
it should.
They keep
that is my annoyance, because I love, up until a certain point, Attack on Titan was definitely one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. However, they have gotten to the point where it should have ended, and I'm mad that it's not over. Yeah. But at the same time, there's too many loose ends, and I understand that they need to wrap it up.
Yeah.
But at that point, they also could have done spin-offs like other shows did to wrap up loose ends.
Yeah. But what they also could have done was taken like what is the entirety of what they're calling the last season and had it been a different spin-off, because that's literally how disconnected it was from season 3.
Yeah.
I did like a good movie wrap up. I was like, I'm always a fan of a good movie.
Yep. And John's we're getting close to Attack on Titan final season part 3. He's right. And I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to be annoyed. And I know this. But at this point, it's one of those, well, I've watched it up to this point, and therefore I have to finish it because I know it's going to be finished.
Mm-hmm.
That whole completionist bit.
Yeah, I actually still love it. I definitely went through a phase where I was like, I guess not super into it anymore, but it's one of those where like once I start watching it again, I can't stop.
Exactly.
So, it sucks you in really quickly. Oh my God, 10.
That's
wow.
Wow.
No, that's not right. Don't lie to me.
We binged. I think it was we binged a whole bunch to catch up before either season 2 or season 3.
Yeah, no, my fiance and I did the same thing. It was my puzzle show. So like, I unfortunately get really confused because I would be like doing my puzzle and then being like, oh, something else happened, and then go back to the puzzle. And then like, so I eventually towards the later seasons, I was like, I need to pay attention.
And
yeah, that's when you do kind of need to pay attention.
Yeah.
There are certain shows where they'll do that, where it's like, you have something that could be an ending, and then you just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, bro, why?
Fate.
I'm not even referring to any one specific show. Yeah. I'm just.
I just laughed that Darren said Fate.
I mean, yeah.
Fate will never end.
It's I mean, the mobile game is like ending its second big part, and I don't have any idea what's gonna happen. I mean, like obviously the game's not gonna end; it's too popular. But like, I don't know, Fate's super interesting in that I think it's something that can be either really consumable or like an absolute rabbit hole. And I'm someone who got really sucked into it. But I think that as long as you're not super, like, I get it. I've been into a lot of series where there are like different watch or play orders. Like God knows that the Metal Gear argument is ongoing, even though it shouldn't be, and you should just play them in release order.
Or just pick up the most recent one and enjoy it regardless.
Yeah. Just don't play it in chronological order. That's weird.
I would never do that.
I do think that Fate is like something where I feel like if people could kind of get over the like having to really get into it, and just like if something seems really interesting to them, like watch that one thing, I think it would.
I think this kind of gets into a rant I have gotten down before about how being a fan of something is awesome, but fandoms are toxic.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like people to watch like just Fate Zero, and I think that's fine. Like, I think some people are only going to watch like that or Unlimited Blade Works and just have their one thing they like, and I really think that's fine.
And like, if someone enjoys something, why do people feel the need to like be jerks about what other people enjoy? It's like, shut up, let people enjoy what they enjoy.
It's like,
very true.
I was gonna say, Kaya, thank you for making us feel old.
Yeah, I mean, obviously earlier I was talking about visual novels, and I'm somebody who tends to get really into things and like tends to like really be kind of a completionist about series. And like what's interesting is I've really come away with the perspective of people should really just do what they like. And so I think it's kind of sad for it to, like, I get it. I get being like, oh, I downloaded the original Fate Stay Night that's never been available in America, but like, I did it because I wanted to, not because I wanted to feel like
Right.
I've done something else. And it's like, I kind of feel like if you're at that point, you should get it more. Like, it's sort of
like my best friend from high school was super into light novels and visual novels, and she was super obsessed, and that was whatever, that was her thing. And like she tried to get me into a couple of them, picked exactly the wrong ones, and I'm just like, I don't like this. But that's kind of where I left it, was this isn't for me. And like left it at that, because and then I found something I liked. And
Now, going back to the idol group, a question came to mind that I didn't ask earlier, and I probably should have. But how did you go about recruiting all the members once you came up with the idea of starting?
So initially there was 4 of us. So it was myself, Robin, Birdie, and our other member, Jackie, who isn't here. And we started by making like our social media pages. Instagram is probably the most prominent one. And we basically just made like a Google form of people who would like to apply. It had some pretty basic questions on it, mostly like, are you able to commute to the Boston area for practices? Like, are you able to commit to buying cosplays? You know, are you able to have the funding to help pay for studios and filming and photo shoots, that sort of thing. It was also very important to us that our members were like willing, like you don't have to have any previous skills. Like we never asked anybody to like, you know, zero experience required for dancing and sewing and anything else. But it was like, as long as you're willing to try and put in the effort into all these things, like we are willing to work with you, and we are willing to work with you. And yeah, we got a few different applications, like Miranda. None of us knew her, I don't think, before she joined.
No, I was literally creeping. I was literally waiting for an idol application to drop. And all of a sudden I was like,
people submit like audition videos, like a minute of a dance.
Yeah, I think it was about.
Like I, as the dance captain, was looking at like who is fun to watch, like who actually wants to be doing this, like who has the energy, who's smiling, like that sort of stuff. Because like it doesn't really matter. Like when you're watching idols, to me, it's not about like who's got the, you know, cleanest dance moves, who's perfect. It's about like who's having the most fun and who can like command an audience.
Yeah. So like, again, not like about talent, but just like who's willing to put in the effort to be like a part of this group. And yeah, that's how we found our people, I guess.
That's cool. And I'm glad that you're able to find people who are just as passionate about it as you were, you know, starting off. Because I think that's something that, especially like I found out about the Love Live franchise from Anime Boston. I don't remember what year it was, but there are 2 big things that they were promoting that year were Food Wars and Love Live.
Oh, wow.
So that shows you how long ago it was that, you know, that was the big things at Anime Boston. They had a lot of the voice actors from the original Love Live, and it was because of that. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, it was Food Wars, Love Live, and Your Lie in April were the big 3 at that time. And so I, you know, wanting to understand the popular side of things because of doing this show for 8.5 years. Even if it's not something that's in my wheelhouse, I want to at least have some sort of knowledge on it. So I sat down and watched, you know, started watching Love Live the first season, really enjoyed it, watched the second season. Then Sunshine came out, enjoyed that. If I were going to put him in list of my favorites, Love Live Superstar, in my opinion, I think I like better than the original Love Live, and then Love Live Sunshine. And then we won't even talk about the other one because I got about 3 episodes in and was like, I can't keep watching this.
I think we all have our preferences.
We definitely do, because I'm 100%. I love School Idol Project. I love the original, and I very much love Ichikazaki.
And those are my two least favorite.
Yeah, no, I know we talked about this because I was like, I really didn't like the first season of Superstar, and you were like, that's my favorite anime. And
I loved the original. I loved Muse until I discovered Aqua.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of Aqua fans too. It's because it's like, again, I got in to Love Live once Muse had disbanded, so it's like I wasn't like they weren't even a group anymore, basically. So when I started watching the show, I was like, oh my god, I love this group, and then I was like, they're no longer here, but I still love them. So.
And this is where it all comes down to personal taste and preferences and opinions, and there's no wrong answer.
Right.
No, which is the best part, because I'm like, I love hearing what everyone thought of each season and show. I think it's so fun.
I think it's interesting too, coming from like the dance group perspective, because like Muse songs are choreographically simpler than like Aqua songs. So it's interesting, like coming, kind of from that point of view as well.
And then comparing it to Layla, I feel like they just bumped it up with the choreo. I feel like they're on the same level as Aqua, but I feel like some of their songs have more difficult choreography compared to Aqua's.
I feel like, us as kind of like Love Live experts or whatever, like we can easily tell the difference between each group with like songs and choreography and everything. But like from an outside perspective, I'm sure it all sounds the same. I know when I was first getting into it, I was like, how can you tell the difference between any of these groups? So now I'm at the point where, like, even with like,
you can tell who's singing at any given time.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're saying, but I know exactly who's singing, and I know what they're saying, who looks like, and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm not.
We'll be in the car, and I'll be like, no, I do. It's like it's funny, especially with with Aqua. Definitely, I can point out whose voice is who at this point.
Yeah. It was also really funny because for a while we were working. There's like that one song that took us an insane amount of time to film, and actually while we were doing that we had to take a break and do a different project, and like the difference between how tiring practice was for like
my gosh, yes,
noticeable.
Muse, like their choreography is definitely way simpler than Aqua is.
Yeah.
Long shot.
Just cardio based.
The Aqua will always be my favorite.
Mine too.
And that's another interesting thing about being an idol group. And I think like the general fans of the shows will never fully understand the amount of time and effort that goes into preparing your bodies for this, because you are performing and you are trying to keep up with the music and singing and dancing and all the motion, and you need to be able to breathe. You need to be able to, as you said, maintain the smile while performing, even if your body is hurting, things are not going right, but you need to portray that you're still having fun and get the audience to enjoy it as much as you are.
And sometimes the anime or anime in general doesn't always take into account reality when it comes to body physics, and that's
especially Vocaloid. Like watching trying to learn some of those dances, like I've gotten so frustrated, but then I'm like they're literally like robots and like computers.
I think it's a little different with Love Live though, because the animators know that this will be performed by actual human beings.
Yeah, they will be.
So it is actually realistic in the movements.
Project Diva just says screw it.
Yeah.
Mika's just gonna fly now. Like
definitely a lot of stamina required. Like I said, filming days can be like 6 hours. And
it's insane though. Like I'm definitely not in the greatest shape, but I'll get winded after performing one song, and then I'm thinking like, how do these seiyus do this for literally 2 hours straight, singing as well? Like how that doesn't even seem physically possible. Like I just such incredible like admiration for them, because
they're superstars. It's amazing.
They really are. They're like superheroes. They're like it's crazy.
And before we run out of time, we want to give you a chance to promote yourself, where people can find you. I know we're going to have it in the description once this video is up fully on YouTube. But let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, so we are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. You can find all of that in our link tree, which is linktr.ee/Kirameku Melody. You can look us up as Kirameku Melody on all those things that I listed. I would say that we're most active on Instagram, so definitely give us a follow there. Yeah, we have a few TikToks coming your way, and we have a very exciting PV that we're going to be releasing probably within a month or two, I would say. This is the one that we started during COVID.
Yeah.
Had to take a break from. So essentially it was like a 2-year project that we're all incredibly proud of. It's my favorite song ever for Love Live. So definitely be on the lookout for that.
Awesome. And programming notes, we want everybody to know next week here on Anime-Zing Radio, we are going to do a 2022 year in review. We're going to review how 2022 went for us here on Anime-Zing Radio, for Darren, Angela, and myself, the conventions, the experiences, the guests that we've had on the show. Just a fun look back at the animes. It's just kind of one of those look down memory lanes, because it's always fun to at the end of the year, and we normally don't do that until we get into the following year. So it's going to be kind of fun.
And it's been one heck of a year.
And then our last show of the year, December 18th, we have a tentative guest, a fun voice actress who, as long as her schedule is clear, is going to be joining us. Oh, I don't want to say any names just yet until it's finalized.
Just in case, because they have not confirmed yet. So there might be a special surprise.
But I will say that if we can get this talented voice actor on the show, it's going to be a lot of fun, because I've really enjoyed their work. Especially considering the fact that she is one of the 4 ladies pictured here, even though you can't really see her.
But that's enough of that. We're not going to spoil things that may or may not happen. That are not confirmed.
I will say that I feel bad that, having a table solo at a convention, I wasn't able to get out and see your performances at Anime, and I wish I could have. Fortunately, timing and...
I was supposed to be at Anime, however, what happened was timing is everything, and I had to be in Delaware for a friend's wedding instead.
Well, that's so pretty.
That's acceptable.
That's a good example.
We did film everything from our showcase at Anime, so that will be up on our YouTube. That will probably be up on our YouTube probably before the end of the year. So definitely subscribe to us there if you're interested in seeing that. We have a lot of past live performances, as well as one full-length PV up there as well. We have a lot of content, and yeah, we've had a really busy year. So
yep, it has definitely been a crazy year.
Yeah, we have so much to share with everyone. So please give us a follow and on everything. We so appreciate it.
Something interesting to note is the in our PVs on our YouTube, the audio might sound a little funny. We have to change the pitch of the audio so that we don't get slapped with copyright infringement. So just a heads up. Not everyone knows that.
Facebook, which is at the normal pitch, because Facebook doesn't care about copyright, I guess.
Yeah, true.
That's part of the reason that we don't do what we used to do on when we were on Blog Talk. We could play music and stuff like that. I was excited when I realized that I still had some of our old show IDs, and surprisingly, I never played one. So let's play one here.
This is Happy the Cat, and you're listening to Anime-Zing Radio on the Hazy Radio Network.
Now that's back from our original network, Hazy Radio, which when I started 8.5 years ago, we were on that network. After a year and a half, we left there because they were basically shutting down the network, and we went to Blog Talk. We're on Blog Talk for about 6 years and didn't have the growth there that we wanted. So last August, we moved to YouTube. And so for about a year plus now, we've been trying to grow the channel here. And
this year has been ridiculous growth.
Awesome.
Great. That's awesome.
And being able to get tables and do the podcasting panels at conventions, which are things that I really hadn't done before. I'd never done a panel before this year. And I did a panel at PucciCon in Pennsylvania, Anime Boston, Kineticon, Anime-Zing, tabled at 5 conventions this year, press at 4 conventions, and randomly attended 4. So that's been my crazy year. Plus in January we added Angela to the team.
Yep.
And
it's been one heck of a, like I said, one heck of a year. And we also over the summer we started working and getting all of the audio from the live shows up on podcasting website. So if you look up Anime-Zing Radio on Spotify, it is there.
Oh, cool.
There is an interesting mix of older and newer content.
And this show will be up on there as well, so you can promote that once it's uploaded.
We definitely will.
Yeah. It will definitely be up there.
I will make sure it happens.
Heck, I could probably get it up there. I've been putting the newer stuff up on Mondays, which means I could probably put this up in a week or 2.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, just let us know. Yeah. And I will definitely promote the heck out of it.
Definitely. And have a good night, Ross. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. And if you're watching this on replay, thank you for taking the time to check us out. If you enjoyed the show tonight, if you enjoy the content that we put on, please like the videos, subscribe to the channel. We're continuing to grow this channel. We didn't hit our goal of 500 subscribers by the end of the year, which was kind of a big grasp for being newly on there. But we're over I believe we're close to 250, and that's still an amazing achievement in a year's time. So thank you to everybody who subscribed to the channel, and we're looking forward to a crazy and fun 2023. And from the sounds of it, we'll be at quite a few conventions that you guys will be at.
Yeah, hope to see you guys there. Yeah, we'll definitely have to check in again.
So definitely thank you so much for joining us. We still have from the timing here, looks like we still got a few minutes. So Darren or Angela, do you have any more questions?
All of my random commentary got answered.
I think a fun thing to ask is, which Love Live song is your favorite from any season?
If I answered, that would spoil what our next project would be. So keep my mouth shut.
That's actually probably my favorite too.
It is the best.
I also love Saint Snow, so just
honestly, Self-Control is one of my big faves.
I love Believe Again.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Coconuts and Sunshine is one of my favorites. Everyone knows I'm obsessed with that. Yeah.
And I love a lot of the Liella songs. Like Star True Dreams has got to be one of my favorites also.
That's really good too. I know mine is honestly one of my top 5. I'd put Snow Halation up there. I've always loved Snow Halation.
It is a classic.
Yeah, also Cotton Candy AAO, of course.
Oh yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Yumiko Tokiro.
Yeah, I know, I love it. Yeah. I'm like trying to think what else.
One of my probably my number 1 favorite song, my absolute number 1 dream dance is Happy Party Train.
Yeah, I do love Happy Party Train as well.
It's catchy. It is catchy. And I love the costumes for that song.
I love the dance.
Yeah.
I actually never sat and looked at the dance because I was not a
Wait, seriously?
Miranda, you have the song for a very
you
long
have
time.
to.
I do enjoy it now, but so.
Probably my number 1 Love Live dream to dance that is Kanan.
I love it.
Actually, I would say that my dream group dance isn't Love Live, but I really want to do the Travelers, which is Zombieland Saga season 2 finale. Like that is my dream.
I'm always down for Zombieland Saga.
I love the costumes.
As long as I get to be
Saga too. I was like, they have some really, really cute costumes.
They do. I also really want to, I don't know, I want to try to make some of, personally, my thing that I want to do going forward is try to make some of my cosplays like more of mine, because I kind of discovered that making idol cosplay is actually pretty fun and not as scary as I thought.
Yeah.
And another question that come to mind is knowing how big the idol franchises are, and in every Love Live you see in the audience everybody's got the light sticks with their respective colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you had performances that people have showed up with the light sticks with those respective colors for your character? Or...
Yes.
I think probably almost every single time, if not every time.
Don't think I ever notice the audience. I think because I would get too nervous if I look too closely.
Yeah,
so
I'm almost 100% certain that it has happened at every one that we've performed.
I think I've seen at least one stick for every person who's up there. So
yeah, absolutely. Most if you're coming to an idol event, most people will either I usually bring my own light. I have a light with a lot of colors on it, so I always bring
a few.
Yeah. So I think, a lot of people coming to idol events would know. Or if you don't, it's a really fun experience to kind of be like, what the heck is going on here? Why is there a bunch of lights everywhere? But after I went to my first event with people with pen lights, I was like, I need one. one. I want to support. I need one. So
you can get 2 for $15 on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. I think if you look up idol pen light or something like that on Amazon, definitely highly recommended for any idol event, because it's really fun to use them and just to cheer for everyone.
It's so fun to be a part of the crowd and to be a part of that energy in the audience, especially with everyone with their lights. It's a really special moment.
If you're ever in the audience for an idol performance, definitely cheer as hard as you can, because it's really your energy cheering goes straight to the performers.
Absolutely does.
If people are cheering for us, it makes me want to go that much harder, and I get so much more hype. And the pen lights are great, and just cheering and chanting and everything. So never be afraid of going too hard. Absolutely get off. Go ham. Yeah, go ham.
And I experienced my first Japanese concert earlier this year at Anime Boston with Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to quite a number of American-based band concerts in my life. Having grown up in Massachusetts, a lot of stuff in Mansfield, a lot of stuff in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to predate myself, but my first concert was a Monkees reunion tour. So to give you an idea, that was well back in the early 1980s. And so I've been to my fair share of concerts, multiple genres, Sugar Ray, Charlie Daniels Band, oldies, country, all sorts of stuff. Man, did that Asuka concert blow me away. There was a whole section, and Angela can vouch for this. I don't know what I was more entertained by, Asuka singing or the section of light sticks just keeping up with everything going on.
The answer is yes. The answer is just yes.
Yeah.
And Kaya said that he got his glow stick from Japan.
Sorry, the cat's trying to get in.
I have two cats that are, one's moved. I had two cats on the couch behind me.
Oh.
And one is still there sleeping. The other one probably went into my daughter's bedroom to keep an eye on her, because they're best friends. So.
Oh, I love that.
My dog hates my son.
Oh.
My son loves my dog.
They're learning. They'll learn to love each other.
My dog is very anxious, and my son is a toddler, so that's kind of to be expected, I guess.
They'll grow into it.
I hope so.
But we want to thank Kirameku Melody for joining us. So thank you so much, ladies, for coming on and chatting with us tonight. It was a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We had so much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you if you're watching this after the fact. We really love the fact that you guys take the time to tune in, watch us, hang out with us. Awesome questions coming from the chat as always. If you're watching it after the fact, come to a live broadcast. We love the interaction. Much like they were saying at their concerts, give the cheer, interact, that they get the energy off of that. We feed off the energy from the chat room when you have fantastic questions for us and for our guests. We love the interaction. We love the people who tune in and support us. And some of you have been here since the beginning. Some of you are brand new. We really, from the bottom of my heart, I thank everybody so much for watching us. If you're listening to us on a podcast platform, thank you so much for showing your support there. I know we have listeners all over the world, which blows my mind. If you'd like to see either Kirameku Melody at a convention near you or Anime-Zing Radio, tell your local cons that you'd love to have us come and either perform in their case or showcase in our case. We would love to travel and meet more fans and make more fans throughout the world. Until next week, when we have our 2022 year in review, I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Stay safe out there. Keep watching the anime. Keep enjoying the idol shows. And until next week, this has been Anime-Zing Radio right here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.